Well, welcome back, all of you, to episode 7 now of this series and the first of the 2024 season. We ran through free agency last episode. We got some really good pickups, actually. Massive pickup for the A's, at least. We did bring back Matt Chapman. I keep calling him Matty, but we brought back Matt Chapman. Fantastic pickup for us. He's going to offer Gold Glove defense and realistically a good bat if it comes back around. He hit a 115 OPS plus in 2022, but then last season he was horrendous for the Blue Jays, and they traded him away to the Rangers, where he was even worse. A 47 OPS plus. He was horrendous last year. Even got brought down to AAA, where he was really good, and but in the majors he was just horrendous. So we thought we'd take a chance on him. Hopefully this bat hasn't gone, and he can improve, because that defense is just phenomenal. We got him on a 5-year contract. The 5th is a player option, but I think it's a really, really good pickup. It's not too much money, so if it does go awry, it's only $7.5 million a year to worry about. It's not like we're completely sort of got our hands tied with the budget. I think it's a really, really good pickup, and obviously we're bringing back a former A, someone who nobody was happy to see traded away, really. So great to bring him in. I do think. As well as that, we made a couple of trades. We brought in Luca Tresh here, really, really good catcher. He was a 17th round pick who, he was good in high A and double A in 2022, but last year he just took a giant leap. To what, a 164 OPS plus in double A, came up to AAA and had a 200 OPS plus over 18 games. Really, really, really good last year. So we can take a chance on him, see what he can offer us. Obviously, as well, we brought up Soderstrom as well for spring training. I brought up a lot of players here, just to see what they can do, really. We took Johnny DeLuca here in the Rule 5. But we got a massive roster here for spring training, 54. I even brought up someone who was low down as Abel, was the lowest I went. I brought up, if I can find him, should be Castagnosi. Yeah, there is Johnny Castagnosi. I brought him up. I mean, he's looking really, really good here, and already developed an awful lot. He's only 22, and he looks phenomenal, I do think. He's only been an Able, but his ratings are much better than that. So we'll see what he can do in spring training. He won't obviously get in the roster, but if he can get a few at bats in spring training, it'd be a good experience for him. What I will do is, though, what we didn't check out is to see where Shohei Ohtani went. I did forget that last episode. I have had a little look myself, and he went here to the San Francisco Giants. That is a unbelievable pickup for them. Really, really good pickup. Obviously, he stayed out west here. The contract, for Shohei Ohtani, that's an absolute bargain. How they pulled this off, I don't know. Obviously, a division rival of ours as well. The Angels are massively weakened by this, obviously losing Shohei Ohtani, so it's great news for us. But what I will say, though, is obviously, they're still going to be disappointed they lost Shohei Ohtani, but they only went and got the best international Japanese pitcher, so they replaced Shohei Ohtani with Katayama here, who's obviously not on as much as Ohtani, but realistically they should have just brought back Ohtani. I don't know, unless he didn't want to come back. Really good pitch here, actually. Ground baller. Throws 5 pitches. Really, really good pitch here. We'll see what he can do, at least. Obviously, we're facing plenty next season, so we'll see what he does. We'll keep an eye on him. But so the plan for this episode, what we will do is we'll get through spring training, and then we will jump through to April. We'll get the season started. We'll probably play the first month of the season and get to May, and then we'll sort of go from there, really. But in terms of sort of the spring training rosters, we're on the first day of the month at the moment. What I will probably do is so usually I do the lineups myself here. What I will do is I will let my manager sort this out here. So if I go to here, he can take charge of them. He can be in charge for spring training. What I will do though, actually, just for the first couple of weeks, just to get, because he is a top prospect, I will force start Tyler Soderstrom at first base. Obviously you can play left field as well, but realistically, with the amount of outfielders we brought in, we want to get Connor Capel in, we want to get Colas, DeLuca, Gorski, we got Bellinger, Estru Ruiz. Colas should probably be a left fielder as well. Obviously he hasn't played there, but he does need to improve that defense there. So I'll leave that to the manager to take charge of. Obviously he was the manager of the year last year, so he did win an award, so I do really trust him to take charge of that. And obviously in terms of the minors as well, it's actually really starting to develop now. Picked up a couple of really top prospects as well. We did trade and pick up, not in the international complex, in our Dominican League, Yasser Mercedes. He's the 83rd prospect in MLB. Really, really good batter here. He's probably not a centre fielder. The arm probably isn't good enough, but he can play good corner outfield defense. Really, really good prospect here. He is a ground ball hitter though, so that might come back to sort of hurt him a little. Carson Montgomery we've got up in A-ball. And then as well as that, we did pick up Luis Palafox, one of our international free agent signings. Really, really phenomenal pitcher here. Obviously, the only thing is, with the pitchers, you never know what you're going to get or how they're going to develop. I think that is the thing, obviously we traded away a lot of our best sort of starting pitchers that were higher up in the organisation. Last episode, for what are realistically, so not him, Adam Lucas, what are realistically just relievers. I'm more than happy to do so. Obviously now, in terms of the budget, this is massively improved. Our fan interest, our fan loyalty and market size has actually gone up due to the amount of people we brought in. And then as well as that, we did actually create a charity in Oakland, which actually did up our fan interest even more. So if this ever comes up, I would recommend to select it. Nick Allen came forward to do this for us. So really, really happy to get that done. It did cost us a bit of cash, but no, we got that set up, and in the long term, this will really help us out. So in terms of our starting pitching, with our player development budget maxed out, I would expect that, pitchers are going to come out of nowhere. And pitchers are really hard to develop on this game. If you take high school pitchers, usually they will bust, and a 15th round pick will come out of nowhere and massively improve. So realistically, we're just sort of hedging our bets on the pitching, and if not, we will make trades to bring some pitching in. But I'm really happy with the moves we made, and what I will do is I'll probably skip through the first couple of weeks of spring training, and then I'll get back to you there. Back after a couple of weeks in spring training, we had a player development update here I want to talk about first. JPC's movement has actually gone up a little bit, which is really helpful. Morahan's dropped his control. JT Ginn here has actually improved a fair bit. He's actually looking like a useful piece in the bullpen here now. But the biggest piece of news we've had here is Gage Workman. His contact's improved, his power's improved, his potential eye's improved, and mainly his defensive rating at shortstop has improved up to 65 now. He's actually a really, really good shortstop. Really, really happy with this. And he can improve his discipline, he can improve his Ks, his avoiding Ks, improve his contact still and his gap power. He's going to be someone who can come to be a really, really good player for us. And in spring training here, as you can see, he's been phenomenal. He's been really, really good for us here. Really, really happy with him. They say, personality, they call him perfectionist, say that is an understatement. So, he's got a lot of development to come, I do think, and he could actually be a really good player for us in the long term. Especially with someone we picked up pretty much at the start of the first season. It was just, it was a sort of a throw-in, really. I say a throw-in. I didn't expect this much from him by any means. So I'm really, really happy with this. And then in terms of sort of how everyone's been getting on here, you could say Connor Capel, again, really, really good. Matt Chapman's actually been phenomenal here. I say phenomenal. Obviously, they're not getting, an incredible amount of at-bats, but he's been really, really good in spring training. DeLuca's actually been good as well. Obviously, Workman, Daryl Hernandez as well. Estru Ruiz has been phenomenal. The the player here, though, obviously, as you can see, Tyler Soderstrom has been a massive disappointment here. He hasn't been any good, but hopefully he can improve throughout the rest of spring training, because I will probably just sim through that with you now. So we've got the White Sox, obviously lose 11-10 here. 11-8 loss. Then we've got the Twins, loss again, not any good. Right, this is awful. It's only spring training. Reed Detmers, Drew Rasmussen, Grayson Rodriguez. Wow. We've just gone on. Okay, finally. Home run for Langoliers. A couple of doubles for Pache. I forget he's even still an option realistically. He's not going to get in. He's not going to make the roster though. Obviously, we've got Cody Bellinger. We've got Estru Ruiz. Connor Capel is still doing really, really good here. Obviously, he doesn't, bat for, amazing power by any means, but really, really good from him there. What I will do actually though is I will get another scouting report from my scouts, and as well as that, I didn't actually jump in and show you this. So day to day for Sean Doolittle here, but Kirby Sneed, he's out for 4 months with torn triceps, which is not ideal, because he probably would have made the major league roster here. You see, he was really, really good for us in the bullpen last year. So it's probably going to get him in the majors again. So it's a big disappointment to see him go, but at least we've got plenty of options to bring in there. So we head back here. I do tend to just sort of sim through one game at a time here. 6-2 win, and most likely only ever check the wins as well. Luca Tresh with a home run. Austin Martin as well. Detroit, 11-3 win. Home run for Langoliers and Chapman. Pitching wise, Salinas as well. Hopefully he's someone who can make the major league. This here. If his movement comes up to 55 and his control comes up a bit more. I know he's only got 3 pitches, but he's still. He's nearly 23 now, but he's so young, and the stuff and these pitches. He could be a phenomenal pitcher for us. And I think he was another player who was in the Sean Murphy trade. Yes. Really, that's turned out to be, fantastic trade for us. Obviously, getting Estru Ruiz back. I don't know how Sean Murphy has done though, but Alex Wood, final game against Kansas, 5-0 loss. Another player development update here. Carson Montgomery's potential's gone down. His velocity's gone up, 94, 96. Movements improved, potential movements came down. Current stuff's gone up, potential stuff's gone down. I'm happy with that though. His velocity's starting to come up. He's starting to get closer to his potential here. He's starting to look like a really good pitcher here. Really, really happy with him. He's actually starting to, if he does, get to his development here, he will be a really good pitcher. So I'm happy with that. He's still only 21. Ryan Cusick, Pozo, Lawrence Butler's got worse, which is unfortunate. Pache's power's dropped. Gelof's contacts improved. Powers came down. Wasn't very good when he played, but I know he was injured for a large part of it. Wow, okay, I just saw a couple of those. Max Muncy's potential's gone up. Current powers came down. Angles's defense has improved. Right, Hanaya's. Okay, this is fantastic. So his current contacts came up. Potential contacts improved as well. Same as his current power, current eye, potential eye. Overall and potential. This is a really, really good second baseman here. You know, if his defense improves just a little bit here, I know he's not fantastic, but and he was phenomenal in spring training here actually. Maybe even at 22, maybe he's got a chance to make the roster here. Austin Martin though, current and potential contact rating is improved. Power, eye. Another really good second baseman who was even better in spring training here. I will have to take a little look through that. Soderstrom wasn't very good in spring training, which is really unfortunate. Not ideal for us at all. Didn't mean to do that. Tresh powers improved. Defensive rating at catcher has came down though. He really is not a good catcher at all. But I think with these hitting ratings, if he improves his potential as well, he will be a phenomenal hitter. I didn't think I mind too much. I think the catcher ability at 50 catcher arm is passable, and realistically we've got Langoliers as well. He will probably be his backup for this season, at least to start. Braxton Garrett there as well. Adam Lucas improved his control. Great to see here. Really unbelievable fastball here. Who else? Salinas, obviously we did see him, and he, if his control does come up in his movement as well, he is a phenomenal pitcher here. Although what I will say though is he is listed as a relief pitcher. Does his stuff come down? Yes, an awful lot. Still a really, really good starting pitcher though actually, but we'll leave him as a reliever for now. And then Schreiber as well. This is phenomenal. This is why we brought him in, picked him up. Hasn't been great in spring training, but 75 movement. I wouldn't rely on him to give up 3 homers in 5 games. I'm not sure how that's happened. Extreme ground ball pitcher as well. Really, really happy with these sort of this pitching profile here. But what I will do actually now is I will I'll jump through. I'll probably go through my lineup and sort of set that to what I believe I'll be happy with, or sort of move down everyone into sort of the minors who's not going to make the roster, and I'll sort of jump back to you then when I've got that all set up, and then we'll head straight into the season. We finished spring training here. I've gone through. I've set up what I think will be the best lineup in my opinion. I've obviously as you can see, there's quite a few changes to this roster. I haven't gone through and done AAA yet. Gelof's been sent back down. He wasn't very good in spring training, but he was injured for the first couple of weeks, so there is sort of a given reason for that. I expect him to probably come up sort of later this season, I would imagine. Obviously, we do have Matt Chapman now, though, so I'm not entirely sure what's going to go on with him. Obviously, Soderstrom went down, our top prospect. He just wasn't any good at all. He's actually will be a decent, decent first baseman, but I think that will be his position, which is a bit unfortunate, but hopefully he can sort of pull things together in AAA. He is only 22, and he wasn't realistically ready. Angeles has had to come down. He was okay in AAA, in spring training, sorry. Really good contact ratings here, but his eye does need to come up. Contact can come up a fair bit more as well, so can his gap power. So I've sent him back down. We just had better options realistically. Lawrence Butler's came down, just didn't really play much at all really here. It says he was phenomenal, but he didn't play much. In terms of Fujinami's came down. Osiris Jaman, he looks unbelievable here. He wasn't phenomenal in spring training though, and just in terms of our pitching, there wasn't any space for him really. We actually have a really really good bullpen, I do think now. JT Gin has came down. He was good in spring training, but we just had better options. The same with a lot of these other guys here. Grant Holman is a top prospect of ours, so I thought I'd just send him back down. He's unbelievable in AA last year, but I think he can have a season in AAA to develop a little bit more. Cabrera has been sent down, wasn't any good in spring training. Same with Jordan Diaz. There was a lot of competition this year. It's not the same as last season. There's a lot more competition, and they just weren't very good. Mason Miller, Sam Mole, Goldberg, a lot of these guys that came back down. Daniel Susak, though, I will talk about here. He was in the games in the time he did get, he was really really good in spring training actually, and he's gonna get a season in AA. See how much he can improve. Hopefully, he can some of his potential ratings can improve here, and he can really start to develop. Castagnosi's actually developed as well a fair bit. He wasn't very good in spring training, but I'm going to start him off in AA this season. He's got a lot of potential. He's going to be a really good second baseman. He can even play shortstop a little bit. Not fantastic, but it's passable. And in terms of that, this is unfortunate. Paul Blackburn did get DFA'd. Just didn't have the space on the roster, and he didn't have any minor league options left. So I've waived him along with Drew Rosinski as well. Wasn't fantastic. Just was better options. Seth Brown as well. There's no way he was making the roster. He's awful. Same with Pache as well. If we lose them, we lose them. But we got so many outfield options, to challenge these guys now that there's just no way they're going to make the roster really. Injured list as well. Connor Capel, he would have made the major league roster. He was really good in spring training, but he's out. It was a day-to-day injury, but it's for 2 weeks, and I just thought it wasn't worth the risk. He was an all-star last year. I didn't want to risk, making that any worse and having him out for the season. But so in terms of our lineup, we got Austin Martin leading off. Unbelievable in spring training for us. Really, really good here. Great eye. We've got Esther Ruiz here. Really good in spring training as well. Obviously we saw what he did last year. 5 WAR, 5.1 WAR. Really, really good player. Then we've got, Oscar Colas. Really good in spring training as well. He's came in. He's going to be our DH against righties here. Really, really good batter. And even better against righties as well. So really, really good option for us to bring in. We didn't have to give up too much for him. As well as that, Matt Chapman batting fourth. He actually batted really, really well for us. Starting to improve and sort of come back to where he was at, which is really, really good to see. And then we got Shay Langlears. Unbelievable spring training from him as well. Really, really happy with that. He's going to still be our starting everyday catcher. We got Matt Gorski. Didn't have a fantastic spring training, but, what he did in AAA last year is, 49 home runs. I believe he can be really, really good for us this year. So I'm going to give him a chance to sort of come in. I've got Gage Workman here as well. Really good spring training as well from him. Really, really good. Obviously, his defensive ratings, he's really, really improving now. And then we've got Michael Toglia starting at first base. Didn't have a great. That's probably our weakest position, really. Especially, you want phenomenal hitting, put some of your best hitting from your first baseman. But he still is a good first baseman. It's just we've got so many other good hitters in the lineup now that he won't be sort of further up. the lineup here. We've got Johnny DeLuca starting at left field to start the season. Had a really good spring training, Rule 5 draft pick. He's starting just because obviously Connor Capel is injured, so we see what he can do. Hopefully he can get off to a good start. Had a really, really good AAA season last year. 39 homers, 108 OPS plus, above average. So really, really good lineup there. Obviously against lefties it does change a little bit. We got Luka Treshin, really, really good against lefties. So we'll see what he can do as well. We might train him up to play in the infield, maybe first base, because he is such a good batter that really we need to get him in the lineup, and I probably would prefer him to Michael Tolia. So we'll see if we can train him up at some point, sort of get a bit of time there. And then what other changes have we made? Daryl Hernandez will be leading off against lefties here. Even better against lefties than he is against righties. I mean, there's not a tremendous difference, but the bit of contact rating that comes up here, and he's got even more potential to improve. He can be a really, really good player with us, and I'm sort of obviously got him and Austin Martin platooning. We'll see who comes out on top, and then maybe one of them come out every day, sort of second baseman. But I'm happy with where that's at for now. And in terms of our pitching, we got JP Sears starting on open day. Didn't have a good spring training, but only pitched 10 innings. We'll see what he can do. Carl Miller as well had a good, pitched well in 15 innings. I do really trust these guys, so hopefully they'll have good seasons again. Chris Matt we got here as well. Hyunjin Ryu will be one of our starters. He's actually improved. His stuffs came up, I believe. But obviously, he has 5 pitches. Good stamina, good hole runners, fantastic control. Hopefully he can be good for us this year. Probably the only issue is, obviously, we probably have a few too many, 4 lefty starters, which isn't ideal. But Waldichuk as well, he was really good for us last year. I wasn't going to start Blackburn. He wasn't very good in spring training either. In terms of our bullpen, we got Nick Hernandez, good spring training as well. We've got Wade Miley. Obviously, we brought him in. I do think he can be good for us. We'll see how he does. As another long relief option, we got John Schreiber here. Wasn't fantastic in spring training. Obviously, he gave up 3 homers in his last 5 games here. I wouldn't expect him to, carry that on. And with the 75 movement, we got Sean Doolittle as well. Wasn't good in his last 3 games, but other than that, I do think obviously he's a 2-time All-Star. Adam Lucas as well. This pitching profile is phenomenal. I couldn't send him down. But then in terms of our 2 setup men, we got Morahan was awful in spring training, but I think he's a really, really good pitcher. So we'll see what he can do. Salinas as well comes straight up into the setup role, and hopefully he can be really good in the bullpen this season, to the point that maybe we might be able to promote him into the starting lineup as a starter, which would be fantastic. He's only 22. We'll see how he does this year. And then we got Zach Jackson back as our closer. He was really good last year. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. So it's just sort of one of those with that. But that's what our lineup is looking like. But what I will do, so I'll probably advance to sort of starting day, and sort of if there's anything else to do, I'll sort of do that, and then we'll sort of start advancing through the season. Here we've got the Twins first off, and as you can see here, they've got Brandon Woodruff. For some reason, the Brewers trade away Woodruff for a decent pitching prospect. Really? I mean, that is a massive. I mean, that's a little bit unrealistic there, and it is a bit of a shame. But what I did do actually last season, so I'm hoping this will sort of have a bit of an effect on sort of keeping realism here. Before I do advance, I did change the AI training frequency to very low, just because the state the game's in at the moment, until there's a couple more updates, the amount of trades they're making is just absolutely crazy. So I did lower that to sort of hopefully keep things a little bit more realistic with some not so many silly trades like this. But what I will do is I will jump into the preseason predictions here because wow, is all I'm going to say. We're predicted to finish second in the division behind the Astros, with the best ERA in the division, lowest average, decent amount of home runs considering we're, our ballpark really. Really happy with this. Obviously to go from where we were last season, I believe we were probably, I'm assuming we were predicted to finish last. I do believe that was the case. Up to predicted to finish second after one off season, where we didn't really bring in any, other than Matt Chapman, we didn't bring in anyone major. We made a few trades, but they weren't any big players. It was players who done really well in AAA. Weren't sort of any major prospects either. Probably probably the biggest prospects probably Oscar Colas, but he, in this game and by his own team, they didn't recognise him as such. The same with Austin Martin as well. They didn't recognise him as a top prospect. So really happy that we're predicted to do so well. Obviously we brought in Luca Tresh as well, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can sort of follow that, but we'll see if that actually happens. Also as well, we will jump into the prospect pipeline. You can see the top 10, top 20 prospects here. James Wood, you got Jackson Chourio, Termarr Johnson, Colson Montgomery, Luis Serna, Dollander obviously last year in the last draft, so he's came along really well actually already. What pick was he? Yeah, he was the first pick. Diego Cartaya as well is up here on the Reds. How did that come about? They traded Cartaya to the Reds for Ricky Karcher. Wow. Okay, I mean, he was a phenomenal reliever last year. He picked up 2.1 WAR, 54 FIP minus last year in the major. So he is a really good reliever. Yeah, he is phenomenal, and he will help out the Dodgers, who are, a team is looking to win now. But to give out Cartaya, really good move there by the Reds actually. Really good move to bring in Cartaya. And then obviously you've got Tink Hence, Jordan Walker still on here as well, and then a couple of young guys as well. But on the whole, compared to sort of preview versions, obviously you have your international prospects who come in and they're, even though they're really young, they're rated, super high as a prospect, but it's not as bad as sort of previous OOTP versions there. But in terms of us, we do have six players, in the top 100, which is fantastic, really. Obviously, Mercedes, Lowe, Hernandez, who is in the majors this year, Zach Geloff, who's going to be in AAA, but realistically, a lot of these guys aren't in the majors. They're still going to come up in the future, really. So I'm really happy with what we've done with our farm system here. But obviously, it's not always, Gage Workman we really rate here. He's all the way down here. He did play 29 games in the majors and he was pretty poor though last season. But hopefully he's developed, hopefully he's really good for us this year. Obviously, you see Soderstrom has dropped out of the top 100. He was our previous number one prospect, but maybe a bad move on my part. But, he was in AAA. I should have, rightly moved him up and sort of gave him a chance in spring training, but he was horrendous for us, so hopefully he can bounce back. But the stock in him has really dropped. Roy Salas up here. Holman isn't our number one rated pitcher now. We got Louis Palafox, who is in the international complex still, and then obviously Carson Montgomery really starting to develop down in Able. We'll see how he does this season. Hopefully he does start to develop and really come along. Hopefully we see him up by the majors sort of by the end of the year, because he is 21. But yeah, in terms of our prospects, I'm really, really happy with that. What we will do is we will actually take a little look just at some of the other teams in our division here to see what they're running here. Obviously, you got Christian Javier, you got Hunter Brown, Akidi, Valdez, Dean Kramer, um, Jeremy Pena, Chaz McCormick, Alex Bregman still, obviously Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Alderbarte, Mondesi, who they have brought in here. Not bad. I mean, he is injury prone. He is wrecked. I mean, I don't see the point of that. Angels obviously lost out on Otani, but they brought in Katayama. They got Laureano starting. Obviously, we released him. He's still going to be in the division. You watch him probably hit a homer against us every single series. We play the Angels now. You got Taylor Ward, and he'll probably have an unbelievable season. Logan O'Hoppe, Trout, Joe Odell, Rendon. Not bad. Seattle Mariners as well. Ju Young Sun. Really good pitcher here, actually. I don't know much of him myself. I haven't seen him before. Really, really good pitcher. Has he come over from Korea or unsure? But really, really good here. Logan Gilbert, Robbie Ray, unbelievable. Obviously, those starters. It's fantastic. Obviously, really good bullpen. They got Matt Brash, Andres Munoz, Josiah Gray as well. Really, really good bullpen. Really good pitching. Obviously, you got Julio Rodriguez, Haniger, Crawford, Ty France, JD Martinez as well. Cal Raleigh, Eugenio Suarez. Really, really good lineup here as well. Obviously, the only other team is the Rangers. Obviously, they got DeGrom. Don't know much about many of these other guys. Sean Manaea. Josh Young. Corey Seager. Obviously, Marcus Simeon still there. They did bring in Michael Brantley. Could be a good pickup. Wasn't good in spring training, but that's not the be-all and end-all, as much as we did take it as that. But we're going to get the season started. So we'll go actually through the first couple of series here. So we're up against Brandon Woodruff to start the season with JP Sears. So we'll see how we get on here. 3-2 win. Take that. Fantastic. Austin Martin with a hit and a run. Home run. Hit a home run. Fantastic. Hit for Colas, Langoliers and Gorski. Really good stuff. 3-2 win against Minnesota to start off the year. Carl Miller up against Bailey Ober here. 4-3 win. Fantastic. Estri Ruiz with 2 hits. Home run for DeLuca, Antolia. Really, really good stuff here. Bellinger came in pinch hit. Nabil Krismat against Chris Paddock, I believe it is. 5-2 loss. Krismat got the loss. Gave up 3 runs. Lucas came in, gave up 2 runs in an inning, which is not ideal. Not that it would have made a difference, but I don't believe so. No, not that it would have made a difference. Estri Ruiz with 2 hits. Right, finishing off the series with the Twins here. Tyler Anderson, 8-5 win. Really, really happy with this. Tolia 2 hits, another homer. Really good start to the season for him, I think. No. Yeah, he's hitting for power at least. Actually, yeah, it's a good start to the season for him. It's only a series. We'll play the series against Kansas City here. 5-2 win for Waldichuk. Right. Blackburn, Rucinski, Seth Brown, and Colin Pache. I will have to sort out actually all of AAA here. That's not looking good. Dermis Garcia can go to AA. So we can Kevin Smith. I'll actually just release him. Far too many pictures here. I will go through this. Thing is, we have a lot of pictures that are just on the verge, really. That, I mean, he can go down to double A. We'll go through and sort that, but we'll sim through the rest of this series here against Kansas first. 5-2 win here. 3 hits for Estri Ruiz, 3 hits for Hernandez. Estri Ruiz on track for 5. I mean, obviously he hasn't played. He's only played 5 games, but hopefully get another top season out of him here. Doubles for Martin and Gage Workman. Love to see it. I will skip to tomorrow. Right, Cody Poteet against JP Sears, 7-6 loss. Who was that? JP Sears gave up 6 runs. Okay, that's not ideal. In 2 innings. Tolia hit a home run again. 2 hits for Colas, 2 hits for Chapman. Hit for Ruiz. 2 hits for Bellinger, 2 hits for Workman. Right, Jonathan Boland against Carl Miller here. 2-1 win. Connor Capel's off the injured list. What I will do though, I mean, it's only a couple of weeks. I will rehab. Do I rehab him to the minors? How's Johnny DeLuca been getting on? Okay. Obviously, it's a small sample size anyway. Don't want to take too much from this. What I will do... Oh, Gorski. I will do is I'll go through and sort of get Connor Capel back in. I'll probably skim through a week or so and then jump back to you guys there. I'll sort out all the mind league system. So I'll get on and do that here. So I've got Capel back in the lineup. I haven't put him... obviously he's an all-star last year who was much higher up the lineup, but he's just come back off injury, so we'll see how he gets on, and then we can move him back up. Obviously he's a good contact hitter, not a big power guy, but what I have done as well is I have made a trade in order to get him back in. I didn't want to lose DeLuca. I mean, yes, okay, we probably have far too many outfielders here, but Colas is realistic. He can play first base, and I mean, I might as well trade him to a first baseman because realistically, he is just playing as a DH. He's a DH, really. He's not an outfield. He's not going to play in the outfield for us. We got Matt Gorski, Bellinger, Ruiz, Capel, and DeLuca. I didn't want to get rid of him. I didn't want to release him. I couldn't demote him down to AAA because he is a Rule 5 pick. So I brought Capel back in, and I did trade away Nunez, which could come back to haunt us massively. Really. Whereabouts is this? Yes. So we traded Nick Allen to the Diamondbacks. Really, really good defender. Great personality. He just never really hit for us. Obviously, he's a positive WAR player, but, OPS plus is 73. He's not a big hitter. Never going to hit for power. And we got back a former top 100 prospect in Davison De Los Santos here, who can, potentially really hit for power, hit for contact. The eye's got to come along a bit, but really, really good player in here. We just put him straight into Double A. We'll see how he gets on. Hopefully he can come up to Triple A to finish the season. Really, really good prospect to pick up. He's only 20 years of age. Good potential. I mean, I say that he's probably realistically more of a first baseman, but I was more than happy to bring him in. Nunez wasn't doing much for us other than sort of backing up guys, and I didn't want to get rid of any of the outfielders to bring in Capel. So more than happy with what I've done there. But what we will do, obviously, we got off to a great start. We're leading the division at the moment, five wins, 2 losses. But we'll skim through a few bits here till the end of the month. So we got Nabil Krismat here back in against Detroit in a 4-1 loss. Was that him again? Gave up 8 hits. I mean, only 3 run. I say only. He gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. Could be better, but it wasn't horrendous at least. Gorski really doing well. Obviously, he did so well in AAA last year. We went in from and picked him up. Really happy with him so far. Got another game against Detroit here. And a 9-4 loss, which is a bit of a shame. 3-2 win here. 2 hits for Hernandez, 2 hits for Langoliers. The win for JP Sears. Gave up 2 runs, 5 innings. Right, we're up against Hunter Green here and the Reds. Carl Miller, 5-2 loss. Another 9-3 loss here. And then Waldichuk in a 5-4 win. Chapman hit a home. How is he batting so far? 138 OPS plus. I mean, he's really hitting for power here. 3 homers already. 3 hits for Hernandez. And he doesn't hit for any power really. And well, I say that he should do. He hasn't been. But obviously he's not a bad power hitter. He is normal batted ball profile, so he's not a ground ball hitter at all. And he hasn't walked, not even once. Okay, obviously it's limited games, but okay, we've got a divisional matchup here against the Angels. Sorry. We're not going to play Katayama, which I really did want to see actually. So JP Sears 7-2 loss. Not ideal. 5-4 win here for Muller. 2 hits for Austin Martin. 2 hits for Langoliers. Hasn't started off well. Neither is Gage Workman actually, which is a massive shame because he's really developed and is looking like a really, really good player here. So hopefully he can turn that around. Oh, we are Katayama here. Okay. 1-0 loss. Okay. He went 6 innings, 3 hits. Wow. Okay. I mean, he's only played 4 games, but he's looking really good already. 2 hits for Hernandez, but awful. Really? They're pretty awful. Bellinger's even batted. He's only had 18 plate appearances. Should probably get him more involved. We'll finish out the month here, so we're up against Boston here. Gorski with another homer. We're not hitting for much contact really here. I mean, yeah, our bullpen is first. I mean, which is fantastic because obviously we did go in to really improve this bullpen. Start as a 10th. Not ideal. JP Sears hasn't been great. Neither is Krismat or Hyunjin Ryu here. Defensive efficiency isn't great because we do have good defenders. Also, you have Ruiz in centre field. Chapman at third. Gage Workman should be a really good defender at shortstop. So hopefully this will improve. Obviously the errors, that's not ideal. 10 errors already. But 13th in home runs, considering the amount of power hits we have, is not good enough. This hitting has really got to come around here. So we'll finish off for the rest of the month, see how we get on. So Brian Marta, we got a loss there for Waldichuk. JP Sears, a 3-1 win. Okay, that's a bit. Estu Ruiz with a home run. 2 hits. 82 OPS plus. We haven't been batting well at all here, though, realistically. So we've got a series here against the Mets. And then we'll probably finish off the series against the Yankees after that, actually. So we're 10 wins, 9 losses. Only 1 game back, at least. So Carl Miller, good win against Tyler McGill here. Gage Workman with a couple of hits. Home run for Estu Ruiz and Matt Chapman. Carl Miller pitched 5 innings, 1 run, 3 hits. Max Scherzer. We've got Nabuck 0 for 4. He's not had a good 5-2 win. Fantastic. I mean, how was he though? He only pitched 3 innings and gave up a run. Maybe we're gonna have to start looking at bringing Krismat out of this. 136 fit minus is not good enough, and it's not even like you can blame the BABIP. Chapman with 2 hits. Homer, Colas, 147 OPS plus from Chapman so far. He's really, really coming back. So with 12 and 9. Kodai Senga, how was he last year? 3.9 WAR, 89 fit minus, really good actually. But see how we get on here. Who we got pitching? Hyunjin Ryu. Lovely, decent win. 20 game save streak. He was on there. Zach Jackson really started off the season well. Hasn't gave up a run yet. 4-2 win. 3 hits on Senga. 1 run. Only 1 run on Ryu in 6 innings as well. Pitched really, really well. 2 hits for Hernandez. 2 hits for Langoliers. 1 for Capel. Right, so if we finish off this last series against the Yankees, and then we'll probably finish it up there. But our hitters have been horrendous. Our pitching's actually been really quite good. Our defense been good. Second best FIP in the league. So 4-2 loss there. We got pitching Waldichuk against his former team. 4-3 win. I would take that. Player development here. Susak has improved. Really, really happy with that. 109 OPS plus. He should improve a little bit from there. Baroa. Really, really good pitcher. Actually, didn't give him a chance in spring training. I totally forgot about him, to be honest. So, the way he's going, he will probably get called up to the majors this season. We will have a look at how our pitchers have been getting on. Grant Holman's improving. Potential's come up as a starter as well. Definitely make a difference in our starting lineup here. Maybe Chris Mack can come down. He's been awful. Jeffries as well. Jeffries' stamina's just gone from 35 back up to 55. Capable starter again. 99 fit minus in AAA. Got to improve upon that a little bit though in AAA. Mason Miller. Been really, really good down there actually. Obviously as a reliever though. Sean Doolittle we did send down because he wasn't fantastic in AAA. He was just the odd man out really. Been okay. But he is old, so he is sort of fallen off a little bit. Zach Jackson got monthly pitcher of the month. Really, really happy with that. He got 12 saves in 13 save opportunities. Fantastic. Really, really good stuff from Zach Jackson here. Hayden Junger this was one of my players who was on my shortlist to get, and last year he came up briefly, had really, really good FIP, but below average ERA plus. I'm just in a few games. I believe he only pitched 13 innings. I added him to my shortlist, and but because the BABIP was 4.62, you wouldn't expect that to carry over. But this season, he's come in. He looks absolutely tremendous. Really missed out on someone there. Should have probably gone in for him. He's the rookie of the month. Cushing in AA. Charlie Cerny and Abel, not bad. He's 27. Probably should look at releasing him. He had 4 more. Draft pool's been revealed. Jacob Gonzalez did get drafted last draft and didn't sign with the Tigers. He looks unbelievable. I mean, he's good enough to, if he gets drafted, he's good enough to come. I mean, he won't. You wouldn't expect him to at least, but he is good enough to come straight into the majors. He is absolutely phenomenal. If I had that number 1 pick, I'll be selecting him over anybody who's available. There's no way you're going to look to select anyone over him. Wesneski's out for the season. Right, so last game here against the Yankees. So and we're up against Frankie Montas, former A's pitcher here. So we'll see how we get on. We're 14-10, so really good start to the season. But the Rangers and the Astros have also been really good. So see how we get on here. Carl Miller, 4-1 loss. Not ideal at all there, but I'm really happy with how the team's coming along. And I do think we're in for a shout for the playoffs this season, which is certainly unexpected from last season. Obviously, you know, Matt Chapman's looking really good for us. If we go to our lineups and our batting, Matt Chapman and Esteury Ruiz are the only players who are batting above league average here. A lot of these players need to back their ideas up, to be honest. It's not been good enough at all, not even remotely close. This needs to improve from where it's at. If we're going to have any chance, we are literally just being rescued by our pitching. Our pitching has been phenomenal, especially in the bullpen. Zach Jackson has been unbelievable for us so far. Morahan as well, really good from him as a reliever. You know, 32 fit minus. Obviously, it's only a month, but Carl Miller's been great as well, starting. Same as Carl Wilderchuk. As well as Hyunjin Ryu, fit minus 80. ERA plus, obviously the BABIP hasn't been great so far. A bit of bad luck, but realistically, he's pitching really well, independent of the defending there. So and obviously the fielding, but I'm really happy with how the first month's gone. Maybe Chrismat, if he carries on the way he's going, fit minus of 137 is not good enough. Maybe we move him to the bullpen and bring someone else in as a starter, and maybe move someone up, move someone down. We'll see how it goes. Nick Hernandez hasn't been good enough either. Obviously, he's only pitched 7 innings, but we'll see how that goes. Keep an eye on the lineup as well. But what I will do before next episode, I will probably, trying to think in terms of the schedule, I probably play out May. I might well play up until the draft, or I will finish May and then we'll come up to the draft and do the draft as well. So I'll play May, we'll film June and film the draft, or I'll get to the draft, we'll do that, do the trade deadline, play through July. So unsure sort of what we'll do now, but either or, I sort of get May done, or we'll just sort of come back straight around the All-Star game, around the draft, and then we'll jump in there. But thank you very much for watching though, and I do hope you enjoyed the episode. Really enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Really happy with how the team's going, and hopefully we can start to look, to start challenging for the playoffs, which we can do this season, and start to make some noise in the playoffs as well. I do think we got a very good team. We got very high upside as well. We're 14-11 and we're not batting very well, and you would like to think, with someone like Gorski, who hit 49 home runs and a 139 OPS plus in AAA, can turn it around. We've got Luca Tresh. Look, these ratings, they got to turn around, unless my scout is massively wrong on all of these guys. If that's the case, then maybe we need a new scout. But I'm very happy with how it's gone, and I'll leave it there. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like on the video as well. That'd be very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.